So we're working our way up to playing some fun one-chord songs, but first I'd like to talk about some basic rhythmic notation, some basic strumming patterns, and some right hand technique. So a good rhythm to start with is the quarter note. I'm going to show you what it looks like on the screen. So it has a black circle with a stem, and quarter notes get one beat each. And you're going to strum them down only, so in the down direction only. So I'm going to demonstrate on the C chord quarter notes. 1, 2, 3, 4. So counting is an important thing, and you want to count to 4 each time because we're going to be playing everything in what's called 4/4 time, which means we're just going to give 4 beats per measure. I'm going to explain that a little bit further in the next lesson. But for now, just think about playing 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just quarter notes. Another rhythm I want to introduce you to is the eighth note. An eighth note gets half a beat. So it takes 2 eighth notes to equal 1 quarter note. Let's take a look at the diagram. Here's what they look like. A single eighth note has a black circle and a stem and a fancy flag that comes out. That's because it's single and it needs to attract another eighth note as a mate. And then if you look below, there's the 2 eighth notes together and they're married. Married in music forever. They have that little black line that connects them. Notice how they're a little more tired because they have kids, a little more responsibility, they're working a little harder. I'm totally joking. So you're going to count them like 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and you're going to strum down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. So I'm going to demonstrate on the C chord a measure of eighth notes. So here we go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So notice that as my thumb went down, my head went down, and as my thumb went up, my head went up. So it's this motion of going down and up. And you can do that with your foot too. As your foot goes down, your thumb goes down. As your foot goes up, your thumb goes up. So you're going. So people tend to think that eighth notes are faster than quarter notes. We're not changing what's called the tempo or the pulse. The tempo is the same, so I'll demonstrate. So say here is the beat of the song. So here's quarter notes. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here's eighths. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. What's happening is I'm fitting more notes within the quarter note. I'm fitting more notes in a beat. I'm not actually playing faster. The tempo, or how fast or slow you play the song, stays the same. So look at my head bopping. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and.
I didn't speed up.
I didn't slow down.
This has been the same steady pulse that I did from the beginning. So now I want to get into some strumming tips. So like I talked about before, you can use your thumb, you can use your pointer finger, you can use the backs of your nails, you can even use a pick if you have one. However you're doing this, I'm just going to give you a side view. So you really want your wrist to be super loose and your hand to be super loose, like you're shaking water off your hand. You just want there to be no tension, like it's flopping around like Gumby, right? So if you watch the side view of me playing the C chord, do you notice how I'm doing this with my hand? I'm tilting it back and forth. I'm not straight up and down like this. This is straight up and down. And this, my wrist is moving back and forth. No matter how you're doing it, that was with my thumb, here's with my index finger, here's with my backs of my fingernails. So the idea is you want it to be super loose, no tension, flopping around, and you kind of want this tilting motion that goes back and forth with your hand. So now that I've covered those basics, let's get into playing some music. So one-chord songs are a really great way for beginners to focus on just keeping time without worrying about what the left hand is doing. The left hand is just going to be fretting one chord and staying there, while the right hand just keeps time with quarter notes or eighth notes. Some people like to sing along, others don't, so whatever your preference. You should listen to the song for reference, just so you know how it goes and you're familiar with the melody. And these should be really fun, easy songs to start with. So some of these songs are going to be in the original key, meaning you will be able to play along with the recording, and others will not, and I will tell you which is which. And also, we're not going to be playing the exact strumming patterns and the exact rhythms and grooves of these because I've had to simplify them down to a very basic form for beginners. We're going to start with Lime and the Coconut. If you remember, your C7 chord is the first fret on the bottom A string. Should sound like this. So we're going to start with basic quarter note pulse, and halfway through you're going to hear me switching to the eighth notes and see if you can pick up on that and hear the difference and feel the difference. Try to sing along and play along with me. 1, 2, 3, 4. Brother bought a coconut, he bought it for a dime. His sister had another one, she paid it for a lime. She put the lime in the coconut, she drank 'em all up. She put the lime in the coconut. She called the doctor, woke him up and said, "Doctor, ain't there nothing I could take?" I said, "Doctor, to relieve this bellyache." I said, "Doctor, ain't there nothing I can take?" I said, "Doctor, now let me get this straight. You put the lime in the coconut and drank 'em all up. You put the lime in the coconut and drank 'em all up." So that obviously goes on for 4 minutes like that, just with that one chord. So you notice that I started with quarter notes and then I switched to eighth notes. So that is one that you can put on and listen to and play along. It's in the original key. So this next one is Tomorrow Never Knows by the Beatles, and a lot of people like to tout this as a one-chord song with C, but it does actually go to another chord at some point. We're going to leave that chord out because you can get away with just sort of droning on this C chord and singing the melody. So remember, your C chord is the 3rd fret of that bottom A. It should sound like this. And we're going to start with Tomorrow Never Knows by the Beatles. 1, 2, 3, 4. Turn off your mind, relax and float downstream. It is not dying. It is not dying. Lay down all thoughts, surrender to the void. It is shining. It is shining. Now I'm going to switch to eighth notes. Yet you may see the meaning of within. It is being. It is being. That love is all and love is everyone. It is knowing. It is knowing. So put that one on and try to play along. So the next song is an 80s song that's maybe not as well known. I remember it being on the radio. It's very Indian influenced. It's got the tabla drumming and the sitar. So the last song has sitar too, funny enough. And this one is a C chord. It's in the original key, so you can play along. I'm going to try a chorus with just quarter notes and then a chorus with eighth notes. So notice I'm just doing fragments of these songs. Obviously these songs are a lot longer. So feel free to download all the lyrics to these songs if you want to learn them in their entirety. I tend to find that just learning the choruses, because they're so repetitive with the lyrics and the melodies, that they're easiest for the beginner to latch on to. So this next one is called Ever So Lonely by Monsoon. We'll start with quarter notes and then I'll switch to eighth notes. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Ever so lonely, ever so lonely, ever so lonely, ever so lonely. Eighth notes. Here we go. Ever so lonely, ever so lonely, ever so lonely, ever so lonely. So again, that was in the original key. You can play along with that one. So the next two are not in the original key, but we're going to play them with an A minor. First one is Get Up, Stand Up by Bob Marley. Obviously this one has a whole different groove because it's reggae, but we're straightening these out with just basic quarter notes and eighth notes so you can play along and sing along. We're just going to do the chorus. So remember that your A minor chord is going to be your middle finger on the 2nd fret of the G string, and it should sound like this. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Get up, stand up. Stand up for your rights. Get up, stand up. Don't give up the fight. Now I'm going to switch to eighth notes. Get up, stand up. Stand up for your rights. Get up, stand up. Don't give up the fight. So the next one is Chain of Fools by Aretha Franklin. Again, this one is not in the original key. The original key is C minor, but we're just going to play it in A minor. So that means you can't play along to the recording. You should listen to it for reference, but I'll show you how to sing it in A minor. So we start with quarter notes, I'll switch to eighth notes. We're just going to do the chorus. So remember that your A minor chord is going to be your middle finger on the second fret of the G string, and it should sound like this. 1, 2. Chain, chain, chain. Chain, chain, chain. Chain, chain, chain. Chain of fools. Just switch to eighth notes. Chain, chain, chain. Chain, chain, chain. Chain, chain, chain. Chain of fools. So you see, one chord songs are a good way to focus more on what your right hand is doing and gives your brain some room to think about maybe singing some melodies and vocalizing over things and just kind of finding the groove, finding the rhythm, finding the pulse, and staying there. So remember, you always want to listen to music. Listening to music is such a big part of playing music. I cannot stress that anymore. And next, we're going to start doing 2-chord songs. So you see my little foundation building here. We start with 1-chord songs, basic rhythms. Now we're going to step it up to 2-chord songs, so you'll be switching chords over words. And we're going to learn some different strumming patterns.